We had one lady who had fallen down the stairs and she had shoulder and arm pain for 2 months. And she kept going to the doctor and nothing seemed to help. And when it did, it was temporary. So she came to see Dr. Irving and he gave her 3 injections of neurotherapy. And within 5 minutes, she had full rotation of her arm.
Wow.
She had cancer, kidney cancer. She reached one point when we really thought we were about to lose her. Something about the patient, because she got a very miraculous recovery.
Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Larissa is here. 62 and feeling fabulous. Moved to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico in 2021 and since living my best life here. Today I'm here with my daughter Elena from Elena Nevza channel, and we are going to interview a naturopathic doctor, healer in our opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Dr. Irvin.
Hi friends, my name is Elena and I have my own channel, Elena Nevza, that talks mostly about real estate, but we are super passionate about natural medicine, naturopathic medicine, and we've met this incredible person, Dr. Irving, and we want to share him with you because there are so many questions about healthcare, and especially for those with children. And this is actually how we met Dr. Irving, is when my oldest son Lucas was 5 years old, which was last year. He got a huge lump on his neck that came on with some fever, but then the fever receded. We have taken him to see medical doctors, 4 actually. We were given antibiotics. There were 2 lymph nodes that were inflamed, would not go away. Like, it was a month and a half of stress, not sleeping, not understanding what to do. 4 different medical doctors, and side note, medical doctors here are well trained, so we just ended up having to go from one to the next to understand what was happening. And what finally pushed us to start doing our own research is when the last doctor had said that we had to give my son intravenous antibiotics for this. And we were like, okay, no.
3 times a day, you forgot to say.
3 times a day for 1 week. It wasn't 5 days, it was 7 days. That's what made us start looking into it more and starting to do our own research. We used, and we had a naturopathic doctor back in Canada who's fantastic, but the climate is quite different here. And obviously, you know, there are different bacteria, there are different organisms in this climate than there are in Canada, so we had to find someone in Puerto Vallarta, and it wasn't an easy task because not a lot of naturopaths here will actually take kids on. So long story short, it was a complete fluke. We came across Dr. Irving and he came to our house, and my very energetic Lucas, who always runs around and never sits still, when he met Dr. Irving, he immediately, what seemed like, trusted him. He did magnet therapy, gave us naturopathic medicine. He really calmed me down also. Just his energy was so reassuring. We followed everything that Dr. Irving said. He brought the trust out in us right away. I think it was 10 or 11 days from the moment that we met Dr. Irving and he did the therapy on Lucas to the time that whatever this infection was, which we didn't even know if it was an infection because there were so many different opinions, it came out. So it was gone and done in less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
So needless to say, we trust him with our everything. We have been going to him for the past 1.5 years. He has helped us with a number of different ailments. So we felt necessary to share his story, his personality, and his contact with anyone who may be interested. Some of the success stories that Dr. Irving shares with us in this interview are amazing. So we highly recommend you watch the entire interview.
And now let's get started with the interview. Hi, Dr. Irvin and Loren. We are so excited to have you here today. We have so many questions. We want to hear your stories. And yes, we are very excited you come. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you too for the invitation.
Thanks. Could you please tell us, Dr. Irvin, your story? Did you always know you want to be a naturopathic doctor?
Well, I was a nutritionist and I did my social service in a place against addictions. So, I had to do clinical stories to the people that were high, people with anorexia, bulimia.
Okay.
So I felt actually helpless with the people, and I noticed the people was having detox with more drugs.
Okay.
So then I said, that doesn't make any sense. So then I decided I needed to do something else because I was having no tools or no choices for the people. So suddenly came to Vallarta without expecting that. And I found, one school. And then I saw the naturopathic medicine. I wanted to do it long time ago, but I didn't have the funds. And I figured it out and I entered in the school again.
And you decided, okay,
And
that's
then
for me.
was the beginning of the
Journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Irvin. And now we have Loren, and we want Loren to introduce yourself and to hear your story.
Well, my story on my journey started around the mid-1990s when I became a massage therapist. And then as I grew older, I started gaining a lot of weight and having a lot of health issues. And like most people, I went to my doctor for help.
And that was in the States, right?
That was in the United States, yes. And the doctor had put me on medications. And as I got older and heavier, I was put on more medications to the point where I had 2 sets of medications. The first set of medications was for my illnesses. And then the second set of medications were for the side effects from the first set of medications.
Oh, goodness.
So I did not feel like I was getting better. And when I asked for help, I just got more prescriptions. I didn't feel like I was getting the help I needed.
More and more medications.
Right, more medications. And I felt like I was getting old before my time. So in 2017, I met Dr. Irving. And we became close, learned a lot about each other, and I realized the things he could do to help me, not only to lose the weight, but to get off the medications. So with his help and nutrition, I lost 31 kilos or 72 pounds in the space of, 11 months?
Yeah, less than 1 year.
In a year.
Right.
Less than 1 year.
Less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year. And I felt better at age 45 at that time than I did when I was 35. Physically, I was not the same person. Mentally, I was not the same person. One of the best things that could have happened to me. Then over time, he taught me more and more about homeopathic medications and treatments, things I could do to help myself, things I could do to help others. And eventually, I ended up becoming his assistant. I was able to help him grow his practice and keep up with the demand that he
Excellent.
has.
So we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, excellent.
Next question, Dr. Irvin. How long have you been practicing, and was your practice always in Mexico?
Oh yeah, all my practice was in Mexico,
Always, right?
but my background or my studies, some of them were from Cuba.
Oh, interesting.
So I have today is 2022, more than 8 years easily practicing.
What sort of certification needed to practice in order to practice in Mexico?
You know, there's not many schools, but there's around 6 schools in Mexico. The career can vary from 5 to 6 years of career.
5 to 6 years. Okay.
Normally, the difference between the naturopathic medicine to the Western medicine is what you see in the school, because you see like a bunch of different disciplines. Sometimes it's massage, homeopathic medicine, herbal medicine,
Right.
some nutrition. You see vibrational techniques like, for example, reiki sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you see those stuff, and you see some basis of anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. You know, because you have to have the basis of the
Yes.
human body too,
Exactly.
in order to help the people.
Or certified naturopathic doctor,
Yeah.
right? Okay, perfect. So, Dr. Irvin, you mentioned massage therapy and Reiki,
Yeah.
right? And that brings Loren in, right?
Yeah, actually here is, you know, Lauren is the person actually who does the massage therapy and the Reiki.
Mhm.
I help Dr. Irving by doing Reiki is one of the many tasks I do in his office.
Uh-huh.
And I also have taken my Reiki skills and added to my massage therapy.
So interesting.
So I just combine the two together, and I think that helps my patients more whatever
Uh-huh.
physical issues they're having.
And that helps to Dr. Irvin to continue treatment with the patient as well, right?
Correct. I mean, what I do and what he does is actually complement each other very well.
Hey, so Dr. Irving and Loren, it sounds like you've got quite the tandem going on. So we would be super curious to hear a story of a patient, a success story, the most impactful one in your practice, where both of you as a team created change and made difference in that patient's life.
You know, I was mentioning 2020 because was one of the hardest years actually for me and for many people, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in Bucerias and I received a call from one lady. You know, I didn't know that patient was going to be the most difficult patient I had in my, you know, history in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that patient came because she had some pain in her arm.
Mm-hmm.
A result, she had cancer, kidney cancer, metastasis in her liver, all her body. So she ended up coming and going to the hospital in 2020.
Uh-huh.
So she reached one point when we really thought we were about to lose her.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I went and I was like, Lauren, give her some Reiki. So I don't know, you can tell something about that patient because she got a very miraculous recovery.
She was very weak when we first met her. She couldn't walk across the room without assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Her skin color was yellow, which is, you know, not a good sign at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we started, you know, I gave her Reiki. Irving started giving her treatments. And 2 months later, she's walking into our office instead of us having to go to her house
Wow.
to treat her.
Wow.
And her son, who is a skeptic himself,
Uh-huh.
wasn't sure this was going to work. He started seeing Dr. Irving also.
Wow.
And today we see most of the family.
Wow. And so the lady, she's alive today?
She is alive. She still comes to the office.
Wow.
We still talk to her.
Dr. Irvin, what is the most common treatments you do?
Well, my consultation normally starts, you know, asking for symptoms, signs, how long the person had that symptoms, and also some allergies, food history, you know. Then I like to decide what kind of treatments I can give to the people. But normally I include acupuncture, I include magnetic therapy, and I also include something some people is a little afraid about, but it's very helpful, and it's homotoxicology. Homotoxicology is a combination of homeopathic medications. It's like a cocktail, I can say it in that way. And normally the difference between homotoxicology and the homeopathic medication is basically the way you use it. Homotoxicology goes like in a shot, with the difference that acts quickly, goes directly to the situation, but also helps with the organs detoxification. Detoxification from heavy metals, medications, injections. So that's why the homeotoxicology has been very successful in my practice, besides the homeopathic medicine. Homeopathic medicine, they come in drops, they can come in pellets, and basically they are smaller dosage, very diluted of different kind of treatments that comes from plants, some animal tissues, or some minerals. So I combine that treatment in order to give a whole and complete treatment for the patient. Besides, I can use a neural therapy, which is used for pain, injuries. Sometimes we use IV infusions in some cases, plasma treatment sometimes. So I have different things, but normally the most common: homeotoxicology, acupuncture, neural therapy, magnet therapy.
Any successful stories?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
many.
Many. Okay,
So-
tell us some successful story.
We had one lady who had fallen down the stairs, and she had shoulder and arm pain for 2 months. And she was right-handed, so she wasn't able to use her more dominant arm. And she kept going to the doctor, and nothing seemed to help. And when it did, it was temporary. So she came to see Dr. Irving, and he gave her 3 injections of neurotherapy. And within 5 minutes, she had full rotation of her arm.
Wow.
And she has just been singing his praises ever since.
Oh my God, that is interesting.
So that was like the best, because when Irving was telling her to rotate your arm, she's like, I can't do that, I can't do that. He's like, no, trust me, you need to do it. And when she did, it functioned.
After 2 months not
After
being
2
able
months.
to work the shoulder properly, in 5 minutes, full rotation.
Full rotation.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
Unbelievable. Dr. Irvin, what is a new patient can expect for the first time visiting you?
Okay, the no patient has to expect a lot of questions, because I like to ask a lot.
Yes.
I like to ask about everything basically. We like to know about their lifestyle, the eating, some illness history, about their family, the activities, allergies, blood type is super important. Very few people knows about that. If they had any surgeries. So then after that questions, I can decide the options for that patient. So normally I ask that many questions. They have to be talking a lot, so don't be shy. Then I can decide, what kind of treatment they wanna need. Because normally that happens that the patient doesn't tell you everything. So you are in the middle of the treatment, or you just finish the first session, and then they tell you, oh, by the way, I didn't have this, or I got a minor surgery. Really hope that doesn't matter. And be like,
This is very important.
okay. So normally, you never know everything about your patient. Normally, as a patient, sometimes we omit things, we don't say everything. So the recommendation is speak as much as you can, share as much as you can, because it's gonna be the best for your treatment. That way I can have, the tools I need.
Yeah, full picture.
Anyway, that is not gonna cost the triple of the double if you have more illnesses, because many people think that. But believe me, if I had to charge for illness, I'll be a millionaire. And I don't do that. I like to be honest, and I like to be fair with the people.
Right.
That's one thing I like about Irving is he doesn't, I call it nickel and pesoing people. He doesn't nickel and peso everybody for every little thing. Treatments will start that day. If you need medications that we don't have there in the office, we will get them to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now, after telling us your story and about so many successful stories about your patients, the question is, are you taking new patients?
Well, actually, yes.
Yes, you still do?
We have an office in Bucerias, very close to the Canadian College, by the way. They can contact me, or they can, they can check that number in the description. That way you can have an appointment.
You can put the full address in the description below and your phone number.
So we have a more recent Facebook page called The Holistic Touch on Facebook
Interesting.
that we are hoping will help us connect to people more for any fun facts or information they may need. So we can be contacted on Facebook through the Holistic Touch.
And I want to say thank you very much for coming over and sharing so much information, so many interesting stories about your practice and your life, personal life as well. So thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you probably one more time, right?
Excellent. Thank you. For
I
having
really
us.
hope so. Thank you to your community. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you to the channel. And thank you for trusting about my services.
Yes,
Thank you for trusting your health in my hands.
yes.
It's my pleasure, it's my passion, and it's my life. So I'll be super happy to be here again.
Thank you.
We're both looking forward to coming back and seeing you again.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I hope, friends, you enjoy this interview with Dr. Irvin. Please leave me your comments below, and thank you for watching. Ciao, ciao, until the next time.